movie notes on Annihilation 2018 film for my viewing today, Saturday, 25 May 2024. I am Tanis Coralee Leonhardi, she, her, hers of Seattle. This is my YouTube channel, Tanis Leonhardi, at least currently. And my description for this movie, for this viewing, is a fiction film, genre science fiction, about a group of females investigating the inside of a shiny translucent dome full of mystical entities / occurrences. So yeah, and it starts outside the shiny translucent dome, and then where the females join up in a team, and then they go into the dome to investigate, and they kind of go on a path through the inside and meet mystical beings, and it's, yeah. I personally would also like a science fiction, but then it's also kind of a horror genre. And so there we go. I'll say a note about the title, Annihilation. This is a word, when I learned it, okay, in school, it was like, what? I was 10 years of age, maybe? And I had such difficulty with the spelling, the pronunciation, and the paired pronunciation and spelling. I've had problems with the English language. Some people, like my sister, you know, they could always just get it. And I was like, I'm that person that fixates on a word, you know? Yeah. And this was one of those words that the paired spelling and pronunciation, I got wrong enough that I finally was like, considering the meaning of this word, why are we learning it? Right. Because annihilation is kind of like to get rid of everything and like just completely suffocate it or smother it or something like that. Leave no room for wiggling, so to speak. So yeah, and so it's investigating. It's a bit mystery / horror within the genre of science fiction. And there was one scene in particular where, like, the main female character, Lena, it takes a gun and, like, kills this albino crocodile or alligator or something like that. And it just kind of, like, really leans into the killing and annihilates that albino crocodile or alligator or whatever it is. And they emphasize it being albino, or it was mystical, so right, so it presents itself like an albino, which is what, white skin, like white skin, like white, not like me, but like white, and what, red eyes or red pigment, that kind of thing, which is common to all animals, I think. So far as I am aware. I am not a biological professional, however. And so I was like, thinking of that, is there anything in my life, like thinking through my moving in / living with my boyfriend Josh Kerr, that like we could approach like that? Is there anything that we want to be that tenacious in like tackling, so to speak? So it's like targeted, this is gonna be YouTube specific. So I think of staying on the platform and moving in / living in with my boyfriend Josh Kerr. Targeted approach to flagging videos for misinformation and impersonation, if / as applicable. Documents we did something / we do not agree with the channel / what they did. They are not with us. It counts as win. It counts as a win whether the video is taken down or not. So essentially going through and flagging a bunch of videos if they have misinformation or impersonation about one and or both of us, right? Flagging it as such, the video might not go down, right? But we said something, and it makes it clear, right, if that's tracked and that kind of stuff, how we feel about that, right? They did not do that with our consent, and flagging it is one form of making that known with documentation. And is action we took, if ever pursued legally, though we hope our actions would at least help mediate any problems that might have been pursued legally. Right? So thinking of it as, instead of escalating to legal, that's a violation of our consent and or work contract or something like that. We did not consent to that in the first place at any point, nor at any point in time. All right. Well, what can we do with what we have, right? We can flag it. And maybe we don't get anything taken down, but maybe we improve, and maybe, I don't. And so unlike some people, we are capable of taking risks, right? So that's taking risks in the sense of if somebody doesn't want that, like, 0 out of 100 flags, the video got taken down, right? But it's the risk, right? If we don't want that 0% average. However, it is, at the end of the day, being a victim sometimes means speaking up and doing something, even if it doesn't have, you know, a perceived desirable outcome. Maybe the more desirable outcome is something else, right? But we did something. Builds upon my work experience marking videos as not interested, as well as my work experience marking channels as not interested. So sometimes channels put out misinformation or impersonation content, and so I will put not interested on the video itself, and sometimes I apply it to an entire channel. All right, it's still coming up. Time to get rid of the crap so the good stuff gets its time and shine, right? Instead of allowing that to happen, right? Now, if it's documented somewhere, then be like, well, if you want to appeal to us, don't publish the crap, all right? That kind of thing. And then we can hope that it doesn't get recommended to us and that kind of stuff. Bad people's condemned to Christian hell in today's world seek out what they want / to hurt others and climb as far down in Dante's Inferno as they can, instead of cleaning their conduct up so they can go to heaven. Why? That requires work and starting, and they are those lazy people crazed on never initiating because they are freeloaders and copycats who view it as making it more desirable than the initiator. So, like, by them not actually starting or initiating on anything themselves, they think it makes them more desirable than the person who's actually taking action. These are the people who showcase eating Snickers candy bars because they are promoting themselves as satisfying in the bedroom even though they have not ever had sex. It's just those type of people. You know, they're not really ones about doing real work or being honest or anything like that. So, you know, we're going to tackle it. Possibly, not necessarily, but thinking of it, right? The scenario moving forward. If we really have a problem with it, we can start flagging it. Right? Does not mean we do. Right? And if they were mature and they were initiators, they would take it down before we even had the chance to flag it. Right? So at some point we would hope they become adults, especially since there is an age minimum for uploading and publishing content on this platform, YouTube. But you know, some people just don't got a whole lot going on in their head, and they don't have the heart to do it. That kind of thing. So that was something that, thinking of trying to draw on something from this video and be like, okay, could it inspire something I would do in the future? Or could, at least thinking of, if none other than that. Is there anything else? Yes, there was a pearl of wisdom in this movie by one of the characters where the females, a teammate had been taken by a creature, and they were talking about, like, leaving, like, should they stay or should they leave? And they were like, well, they have a bunch of pictures, they have a bunch of documentation, they have all this video footage, like that kind of stuff. And one of the characters goes, and it only makes it less conclusive or something. And I was like, that's right. In the information age, when breakthroughs do not keep pace with the amount of information available, it's a reminder that that information can be more harmful than good. Right? So I was like, I saw that and I was like, that is a pearl of wisdom from this movie. Is just because there's information does not mean it corresponds to understanding, much less breakthrough. So there we go. Yeah. So those are my movie notes on Annihilation, 2018 film, 25 May 2024 viewing.